Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm actually gonna do something a little more different this year, and I'm gonna try and review most movies that I see and just talk about what I've seen. Today, or rather last night, I'm gonna review it today. I saw Den of Thieves 2, which stars Gerard Butler and O'Shea Jackson Jr., as well as a laundry list of other people. And I had not seen the first movie. In fact, I didn't know there was a first movie until last week. Which I know, weird, right? But I watched the first 20 minutes and I was like, okay, good, it's good chemistry, I guess, but it seems just kind of like your average LA crime gangster movie, something that you'd see David Ayer doing. And, I just kind of quickly shut it off and walked away. I didn't really think much of it. But last night, minor context, I was supposed to see a screener for a movie that unfortunately got booked, so it was dropped. Doesn't matter. But my friend of mine said, "Hey, Den of Thieves 2 is playing. Let's go watch it." And I'm like, "All right, might as well." And I gotta say, this was a really fun movie. It was uh, really well executed. Cinematography, direction was very, very solid. Gerard Butler and O'Shea Jackson have a really, really solid chemistry that they got going, kind of similar to Robert De Niro or even Al Pacino in Heat, but played up significantly more. Um, the action was really brutal. Uh, to an extent, it's more of soft R violence with hard R language. So, overall, when I say hard R, oh my God, hard R is in the rating, not in terms of the. Oh boy, put a foot in my own mouth. But putting that aside, the story and dialogue within itself ranges from, "Oh, that's really interesting," to, "Oh, this is about as standards can get," which is, it's like, "Yo, you're the best we ever have," or, "Oh, going up on the fort now," or stuff that you'd find typically within the genre, where it's like, he's our case cracker or safe cracker. He's the best there is at what he does, and it's like, okay, all right. But where the movie really, really shines is whenever Gerard Butler and O'Shea Jackson are on screen. Um, First, a little bit of the story. So, following his divorce, Gerard Butler's character from the last movie, which that's all I know is that he got a divorce, finds out that O'Shea Jackson's character robs a priceless diamond from a cargo plane somewhere in Europe, and thus goes across the ocean to try and track him down, only to find out that a much bigger heist is being pulled and wants in. So it does follow a lot of tropes that you find in heist movies. Hell, even something like Ant-Man, you'll find tropes in Ant-Man and here, one for one. The characters not getting along, drinking, partying, getting to know one another. Um, and for the most part, like I said, I don't know. Like I said, I sat through 20 minutes of the last movie, didn't really like it. But sitting through this movie, it really does feel like a lot of my issues I had with those 20 minutes they were like, okay, you want to know what? People clearly want these two main characters. Let's give them these two main characters and let's give more action. And yeah, like no joke, if you're going to watch this movie, watch it for, Gerard Butler and O'Shea Jackson Jr. Their chemistry and the way they interact with one another is both oddly heartfelt and like deeply funny at times. Like this movie is unintentionally really funny. And I mean that in the most sincerest way possible, because O'Shea is a lot like his father, trying to be kind of very serious and very, stoic. But anytime he is with Gerard, Gerard just acts like a bumbling fool, a badass bumbling fool, but a bumbling fool all the same. And they just work off each other so well. And for the most part, despite the derivative story and the stale dialogue at times, this movie is, around the 6, 7 mark, for the most part, very serviceable in terms of, my enjoyment. They do something near the very end, and I just went, oh, well, would you look at that? That's very interesting. I didn't see that coming. They do kind of undo it slightly about a couple minutes later, but the ending of the movie very much caught me off guard because I was just not at all ready for the twist that they were going to pull. Even though it's like it should have been so obvious, and it really was. The twist was obvious, but it was like the whole, yes, it's so obvious they would never suspect us of doing it, and they still did it, and I was caught off guard. I felt like a fool. But this movie, the first movie, apparently has its fans, and people that I know that loved the first one are loving the second one. I probably need to give the first movie more of a fair chance now. Now that I've seen the second one, which I'm going to be honest, I'm going to give it. I walked out of it with a smile on my face. A movie like that, I usually want to give an 8, but honestly, this movie is really not deserving of an 8. If I was going to put it in a category, I'd say it's just a bit below the first John Wick movie where you walked out going, "Oh, this is something special. This was not at all what I thought it was going to be." And honestly, Den of Thieves 2, I'm going to give around like a 7. It is an honest to God fun action movie with an ending that, you kind of like, with an ending that kind of jerks you into a twist that you should have been prepared for, but honestly caught me off guard. Maybe that's because I'm an absolute fucking imbecile who probably should have seen this coming, but it caught me off guard. And O'Shea Jackson and Gerard Butler just have some truly magical chemistry that just shines through every scene that they're in. And it's probably best that about 70% of this movie, that's too generous. I'm gonna say 65. 65% of this movie is just the two of them on screen together talking and interacting with one another. And I will say this, the actual heist scene in the movie takes up maybe 20, 25 minutes. And I, usually it's like this whole grand, like, thematic music playing, or like, dun, 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 bu, 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 like tense music and rapid pace. But this, in a weird way, it's not like Mission Impossible, like, when Tom Cruise is going down the wire. It really was deeply, deeply reserved. There was almost no music playing. It was very slow paced. Everything was dialed back until afterwards, where it's dialed back up to 11. But the actual heist scene was dialed back significantly. And, I found myself clutching my fists and, trying to bite my nails as I was watching the screen, saying, "Oh my God, are they going to actually do it?" Because a lot of that movie was just, let's keep going, fast, 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 with, of course, the occasional slow parts to allow us to get, in touch with the audience, with the characters. But the actual heist, I gotta give, what's this dude's name? Christian. The director's name is Christian Goodgast, and I gotta give him credit. The actual heist is very reserved and really, really tense in a way that I was just not expecting from this movie. So yeah, my overall recommendation: go see this movie. It is an honest to God good time with, deeply flawed but still very interesting characters, with chemistry between two leads that are that are quite palpable, and an ending that I can't believe I'm even going to say this either. I want to see more. I might even go check out the first movie. It's a lot like how I left Smile 2. I didn't see the first one. I don't know anything about the first one, but I'm like, damn, if this is what this franchise is, I wouldn't mind seeing more. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Go see this movie, enjoy yourself, and let me know what you guys think in the comments below if you happen to stumble upon this one. Take care and have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.